And that's why you're a power mum. Welcome to the Pwrmums podcast. Moving swiftly on to how important is water, and a specific question to this. Can you offer some tricks to increase water consumption?
Yeah.
And does water in tea and coffee count? Question mark, exclamation mark.
Yes. So actually water is something which many of us are not in the habit of drinking a lot. It is a habit to be inculcated. So do it very early on with your children by giving them a cup, of water. And this is often a habit they will develop. So water, increasing the intake doesn't have to be through water itself. You can do soups, you can do smoothies. Even coffee and tea are actually a way to get fluids in, except that if you're having very strong coffee, obviously there's a dehydrating effect, so you need to drink additional water. But it's still, if you like tea or coffee, then 1 to 2 cups a day, because beyond that you are then going to have some of it pass to your baby if you're breastfeeding. So the other thing you can do is actually flavor your water with some natural stuff, a slice of lemon or an orange, berries. I find a cinnamon stick or mint leaves works quite well.
I like mint leaves, but I haven't heard of cinnamon stick.
And you can leave the stick in for a few days even.
Yeah.
So, that's a great way to flavor up.
Oh, yeah. Be like
water.
Masala chai water.
Chai water, yeah, if you like it.
Someone would sell that for $10 for a litre.
That must be my Indian roots somewhere.
Yeah.
I love that. So those are all ideas to get water in, but you will actually find your energy levels absolutely spike if you have a day of drinking enough water. So good to have a bottle where you can measure and say, I need to get through 2 bottles a day. I often get a lot in when I wake up in the morning, and it's a great way to flush your system out. Get rid of the toxins. It's an ancient, actually Ayurvedic remedy. You drink a lot of water in the morning, flush your system, then have your first cup of tea or coffee.
Okay.
And that would be one tip you get. But you should drink through the day when you're breastfeeding. Have a glass of water by your side. Mm-hmm. Just make it a habit.
I found when I was breastfeeding, I just had an insatiable thirst the whole time.
Yes.
And then as soon as I stopped, I realised it just went just like that. And now I have to remind myself to drink again.
Yes.
After almost a year of just constantly having fluids near me. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you find in Singapore as well, compared to the UK, sometimes we need to drink extra because of losing it through sweat?
Definitely, you feel more thirsty here. So if you're in an aircon environment, then you may actually not drink, but actually your body is getting dehydrated. Yeah. You have that insensible water loss, as we call it, from our skin, sweat. So definitely, watch that, and you'll find your energy will be so much better. So it's really small tip, but worth it.
Worth it, okay. And the next question is something that could have been written by me, due to my lovely little, can you see? Don't know if you can see it.
Looks great.
Great, I hairspray it down. Postpartum hair loss.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can do to avoid it?
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything that you can supplement your diet with to help it grow back quicker?
Yes. So, Kat, there's something called telogen effluvium, which is a normal process. And after your crowning glory, beautiful hair during pregnancy, 3 or 4 months later, most of us will have hair loss, which can be massive and very scary, because you imagine you're going to go bald because it's so much hair when you shower. That is actually the resting hair that is being shed. And unfortunately, that cycle of resting hair being shed lasts up to 4 months, and it does end, and the hair which is growing will push through after that, and you will get your hair back. However, if you feel like you've lost a lot of blood during delivery, your diet's been very poor, you've got a previous history of thyroid issues, or there's one in the family where people have kind of ended up with a thyroid disorder after pregnancy, then these are the sort of scenarios where a nutritional component may be suspected. So both examination and bloods can show that. So if you're losing hair for about 3 months with nothing else, you feel great, then nothing to worry. But if it's going on beyond that 3 or 4 months and you're quite tired or you're breathless, you're walking around and saying, hey, this is not normal for me, getting a lot of headaches, or a lot of palpitations, anything like that that's not going well, then you go in and have those nutrients checked, and we would probably correct your iron and your check the thyroid. Zinc is something in nutritional medicine we do look at. It's not very conventional, but zinc is important for skin, hair and nails. Foods that you need to be having adequate amounts of are your whole grains, your protein, so a palm size of protein per meal.
Okay.
Piece of chicken, fish, if you're vegetarian, then beans and lentils. And then your good fats, which are always good for skin, hair. So your avocados, your eggs, nuts, seeds. We don't recommend a very large supplement when you're breastfeeding or when you're pregnant, because a lot of these things will come out in the milk and go to your baby. So it's always good to balance it, check these levels. Or if you take a general multivitamin, that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But something like, we did a podcast, and I know you know them well, with the iron sweets.
Yes.
Something like iron.
Yes.
That is something that can safely be administered during pregnancy and breastfeeding, isn't it?
Yes.
And that can make a huge difference in someone's feeling of well-being.
Totally. Iron is just that really, really important nutrient. And it is amazing in my daily practice, the number of people I see with low iron. It's just shocking. And I think doctors are sometimes blind. They see this person sitting in front of them with a very, very sallow color and don't suspect it. So I think it's also your GP being tuned in, looking for it. Sometimes your mind will, if you're not looking for it, you won't see it. Therefore, as a clinic, and I particularly focus a lot on correcting iron.
Yeah.
We know that iron stores are important. It's not that hemoglobin, which every gynecologist does for you. Hemoglobin can be normal on your blood count. It is the iron stores you want to be checking. And those are important for well-being as well for many people.
Which was exactly the case for me when I came to see you.
Yes.
I think my hemoglobin was within the normal limits,
Yes.
but my iron stores had dropped so much from when I got tested before having a baby versus after, because the baby
takes it all out of you.
Sucks it out of you.
They leach everything out of you.
Yeah. But having the infusion and the B12 injection can massively help to correct those feelings of constant fatigue that you think is just your baby's fault.
That's right. And vegans and vegetarians just need to really be careful. And B12 is of mention in the vegans. So B12 supplements are needed for vegans.
Okay.
Or people who are tending to be vegans most of the time.
Because you can really only get that from meat.
Animal products. So milk, eggs, chicken or fish.
Yeah.
You don't need too much of it, but you need to be eating those.
Yeah. So, sometimes food, I'm going off piste now, this is not a question on my list, food aversions during pregnancy.
Yeah.
Quite often women might go off meat.
Yes.
So do they need to be concerned about their B12 if they're just going off meat for a short period of time?
Not really. The body has huge stores of B12. Okay, so it's not normally an issue. But if you have a family history of a low B12, so you may have parents who've been having B12 shots and these people don't absorb it, and then it can run in families. Or if you're experiencing a lot of fatigue, then when you check your iron, just check your B12, and we try and maintain it above a certain level. So normally a few days of avoidance of meat is not a problem. If you're still having some dairy, if you're having eggs, you should be getting enough.
Okay, that's good to know.
But B12 is a water-soluble vitamin. It gets out in the urine. You can't overdose easily. So if you're not sure and you want to take a B vitamin for a short period of time, there's not going to be a huge issue.
Oh, so if you had too much to a supplement, you'll just pee it out?
You'll just pee it out.
Okay, good to know for the vegans. So they can take a supplement, they don't have to take a B12 injection?
Nope.
They can just supplement their diet with a pill?
Yeah. There's evidence that oral works pretty well, even in people who don't absorb it. Now the hospitals are moving to just doing oral.
Okay.
But the injections are easier, as in you get away with one injection every 3 months. So sometimes people who forget to take pills, it might be handy for those.
Okay, it's a bit more of a quick fix. So you can get your...